Good morning, everyone. Parents, it's week 7, Wednesday, day number 33. Mrs. Knapp is having an open forum Zoom today at 4. I sent you a link last night, the code and password through Remind. So if you want to talk about anything or have any updates or, just check that out today at 4 if you have a chance. I also want to say keep up the great work. I love the submissions, and I know it's not easy. I do it here as well. So, some days are easier than others. Just keep at it. But thank you for all you do. All right? So, kids, little pep talk for you guys. Some days are harder than others, but you need to keep working, okay? And I want to tell you, I do it here with my sons, and it goes a lot faster if you just put your mind to it and get it done. All right? So writing, I know, is not everyone's favorite thing to do, and my son doesn't like it either. But if we talk about the book a little bit and think about out loud what we're going to write about, sometimes it goes a little bit easier. But if you just put your mind to it and get it done, it's over, and then you can go on to what you want to do. Because I know when you're at home, there's there's food, there's TV, there's YouTube, there's lots of things that you can check out. But you need to stay focused and get that work done, and then you have the rest of the day to do all that other stuff. Okay? Today for reading, Mrs. Prescott is choosing a story, so it's kind of a surprise. Check it out. Make sure you're reading 20 to 30 minutes, whether it's Raz Kids, iReady, or something on your own. And like I said before, if there's something you like Fly Guy or Scaredy Squirrel, just Google it if you don't have those books at home, because I know by now you might be running out of books. Just Google it, and it should pop up for you. Okay? Writing. It brings, every time I read this week's writing, it brings me back to our form that we used at the beginning of the year, talking about characters and the setting, problems, solutions, and how they fix the problem in the end. So they want you to talk about the characters in the book that you were talking about yesterday and the problem. All right, so there's always a problem in the story, then they have to fix it. Sometimes there's more than one problem. If it's a chapter book, there's a problem in every chapter usually that has to be fixed. 5 focus words today, but keep in mind you can do anything that's going to help you move your spelling learning forward. Okay, so let's look and see. Look at our words for a second today. Don't rip. All right, so remember, we're thinking about the blends. 2 consonant letters can represent one sound in the middle of a word. For example, CH, PH, and SH. It's called a digraph. So when you get here, instead of saying the letters separately, they're going to blend together. All right? So teacher, kitchen, inches, picture, dishes, fishing, milkshake, compound word, elephant, alphabet, and nephew. All right? So let's think about those when you're working today. Put it right over the hole where it wants to rip. All right. Keep in mind, for math, we're talking about making rectangles, and sometimes we'll use all the rectangle and sometimes we won't. So today's problem is got a lot of writing. I had to add a little bit to the paper because they're having you do multi-steps. So think about this one that we did with Kira, and she made a rectangle with 5 columns of 3. But then, when she was drawing, she decided to separate it, and she only used 3 columns of 3. So they're going to want you to kind of write a number sentence for the part she used and the part she didn't use. They're going to talk about number bonds today. So let's be thinking about that. These little steps that we're working on through the week will help you to do your sheet that you turn in for Friday. Okay? All right. So let's do yesterday's problem, and then we'll move on to today's. Yesterday was just reinforcing or reviewing a subtraction and addition, because that is something you need to keep fresh even though we've moved on to new concepts. Okay? So if we were in school, we would have a little quiz once a week, and I would check to see if you're keeping these concepts and you're still able to do this. And if not, we would do some mini lessons to bring you back up to speed. So if you're finding you're having trouble, you're forgetting to borrow, you're forgetting about your carryover, okay, that's all part of the learning process. So just keep working at it and reinforce it. So if I'm subtracting and I have 0, I have to go to the neighbor. There's nothing there, I go to the 4. 4 becomes a 3, and this becomes a 10. This guy still needs help over here, though. He still needs some help. So 10 becomes a 9, this becomes a 10. 10 take away 7 is 3, 9 take away 8 is 1, 3 take away 1 is 2, and I can take these two numbers and add them together and see if I come up with 400. 7 and 3 is 10, carry my 1, there's my 10 still. 8, 9, 10, carry my 1, there's my other 10. And then 2, 3, 4, 400 and 400 is an okay problem, all right? And the addition part, which we just did, that's the easier part. 8, 9, 10, 11, carry over my 1, there's my 11. 9 and 1 is 10, plus 6 is 16, carry over my 1. 4 and 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8, 861. So if you got 213 and 861, which some people submitted that, awesome, great job. All right, and that's my old math problem. My new math problem is this. You're going to need to break it down and unpack it like we do. So everyone had a chance to be the person of the day, I think. If you didn't, send me a reminder and I'll make sure you get in there. You might have missed your video, but I've been trying to keep track, and I think we're on a new, we're going to start new, so everybody will get a second chance to be person of the day. Hunter A is making rectangles with square tiles. You know those little square tiles we use? So he's making rectangles with square tiles. He makes a rectangle with 3 columns of 4. So Hunt, let's think about this. First of all, we know he's making rectangles with square tiles. Okay? Nothing to worry about there. He makes a rectangle with 3 columns of 4. And then he separates. Okay, so now he makes this shape, so I'm going to draw it. Then he's going to separate, or do what we did with Kira, and just shade in this part so you can see that he's using some more. Then he separates the 2 columns of 4. Then he writes a number bond to show the whole and the 2 parts. So, draw a picture, repeated addition sentence, there's also a number bond in there, and an answer statement. That's a lot of work to do today, but it's thinking about breaking apart, putting together, all right? And you're really making one array and then turning it into 2 arrays. And I know you guys can do it, all right? So that's math. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to add today. Today is, remember, the 5th month, so it's May, 5th month. And then I went out and pulled this. We talked a lot about how seeds grow. So let's look at, just review real quick. I'm going to get some bean seeds. I haven't been to the grocery store, but I'm going to try today. So here's the bean, and this is the food, but what comes up first are the roots to anchor it down. And then as it grows, this is the food for the leaves, the stem, and the roots. So they finger out, and they hold it, and it grows up. And then we talked about, goes from there all the way to this. This is a flowering plant, and it will grow vegetables for us, and sometimes fruit if they're flowering. So these roots just continue to spread out. So I thought, well, let's take a look. This was growing in my flower bed, and it's just a weed, but I thought, here's the roots. So this is what started first in my flower bed, are the roots, and they're finger-like roots that stretch out and hold it and anchor it down. So when it's windy or it's raining hard, it stays there. And then the top part will start to grow. And this will probably be a flowering weed, or it may be even a flower. It could be a buttercup or something like that coming, but it would have to be pulled anyway, so I thought I would check it out. And you can go out, if you do a dandelion, I was looking for one, and of course, any other time I'd have a million of them. I couldn't find one. Those are called tap roots. They're more like a carrot, and the roots, more of the root grows underground. So if you try to pull a dandelion, usually you just pull the green top off, because the root is really anchored in there well. You have to sometimes use a garden tool or a shovel to pull that up. So if you get a chance and you want to go out and pull some different plants and see what their root system is like, that's always interesting. All right, so boys and girls, keep working, and I will talk to you more tomorrow. Have a great day.